On Monday, a man named Grant Haber agreed to pay a little over $13,000 for removing 32 of his neighbor's trees so he'd have a better view of Manhattan. The ball's on that guy, okay? Like going onto the private property of someone else and cutting down that individual's trees because he wants a better view of Manhattan. Okay, so let's get to the details because it turns out that he might actually end up paying a lot more for the damage done, and I think he should. So this bizarre saga began about a year ago when Sammy Shinway came home to find that his trees were being cut down, the trees on his property, okay? So he found out that Haber wasn't cutting down the trees himself. Instead, he hired a group of workers to do the work for him. According to Shinway, the workers told him that the person who hired them wanted a better view of the New York City skyline. At that point, Shinway called the police, but it was too late to stop the destruction. A lot of the trees were already cut down. So let's take an aerial view of the home that Grant Haber. That's a really freaking nice home, man. And I don't see any neighbors. Like that looks so good.
It looks okay. Does it have a good view of the New York City skyline? Because otherwise, that's trash. And I don't want to live in that shack.
I don't care about viewing anything other than the lack of human beings. Okay, like that looks awesome. Anyway, but let's move on. So let's put the picture back up. Sorry for getting distracted by how much I want to live there. So you see like an empty patch near the pool. That's where the trees were cut down. Now, with that said, Shinway said in an interview last summer, why would anybody feel that they had the right to encroach on somebody's property that's clearly outlined by their own fence and do as they please on somebody else's property? It just felt like a very egregious act, almost too egregious, a disrespectful act.
Yeah.
Sammy, you should come to California where people encroach on other people's property all the time and literally live in it for months at a time without anyone being able to kick them out. That literally happens here all the time. But with that said, and don't come for me if you think that that's okay. It's not okay. Now, Shinway also decided to pursue legal action, and that has led to an ongoing legal process to determine just how much Haber will have to pay for what he did. Last year, the case went viral to the point where Shinway could not even access a Zoom hearing for this specific case because so many people were interested in it.
Oh, wow.
So they had all like logged in to see the case play out. But there have been some recent updates, so that's why this is in the news now. On Monday, Haber agreed to a plea deal negotiated by his attorney and the municipal prosecutor that reduced the number of trees considered to 18 and cut the penalty he paid per tree from $700 down from a potential $1,000 per tree. I think that is, the 1,000 was already too, like we're talking about mature trees.
Yeah, it's not nearly enough.
32 of them.
Not nearly enough.
So under the plea deal, Haber agreed to pay $13,194 in fines and court costs rather than the $32,000 plus fine that he was gonna pay previously. But there's been a twist. So the borough's prosecutor has said related damages and costs, including planting replacement trees, could exceed $1 million. After imposing the initial fines Monday, Judge Andrew Wubbenhorst scheduled an additional restitution hearing for April 19th. Shinway noted last year that cases like these are often incredibly difficult to resolve. And I'm pretty sure that, I'm sure there's precedent out there for stuff like this, but maybe not to this extent. Other cases, meaning did not damage trees to this extent. Since this case started making headlines, Shinway said other homeowners have reached out with similar stories about alleged property encroachment, but with no resolution. Shinway said, quote, "There's little recourse generally for incidents like this, and that's why I think so many people relate to the story. But I also think it's part of a bigger conversation. Trees are so important to the environment, yet they get illegally cut. We need to protect them, so I hope that it draws more attention towards it." Meanwhile, Haber has skipped town. property records show, oh my God, this is where the injustice comes in, that his home last November, he sold it for a cool $1.8 million, which was $500,000 more than what he paid for it back in 2014.
In 10 years, so he made like $50,000 a year off the investment. So he cut down all the trees to get a better view, to then sell the house, I guess, with the better view. That's madness.
That is.
And also, like the two different potential monetary fines he's facing are so wildly different. Like $700 a tree is madness. You cannot get anything like those trees put back for $700. $1 million seems crazy on the other side. Like, what were those trees? Did they murder Treebeard or something? Were they young Ents that were cut down? Like, that's way too much money. But I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm still mad about the Wonka thing. Maybe jail? Like,
no, John.
You knew exactly what you were doing, and when you went in and destroyed your neighbor's property for your selfish pleasure of a view.
I don't know what's happening to John, because like,
I'm not saying for a year.
John's getting me real excited by tapping into my tough on crime. You know, like no one else does it. No other progressive does it, John.
Well,
so like, you're tempting me.
It's a rich person that did it that I want to go to jail.
Send him to jail.
Jail, tree jail, okay?
Yeah.
No,
jail.
There's no respect for. I over the past few years, I walk and bike through neighborhoods and everything, and trees are like the determining factor so often
trees.
Of whether a neighborhood looks good or not. There's not nearly enough trees, especially in LA. We need to plant more trees.
Yep.
If you go in and kill someone, because you can't just replace it. Like if he went in and destroyed the guy's car, you can get another car. You plant trees, it's years, maybe decades until they're the same again. When the city comes around my neighborhood and trims the trees, they trim them way too short.
Yeah.
I want to pick a fight over that, and the tree's not even dead.
I'm jealous that the city shows up to trim your trees, because
it was like 2 years ago, but yeah.
That's why they trim it so much. They're like, we don't want to come back for several years.
Yeah.
So let's just,
Although I learned from the strikes, the SAG strikes last year, that if you want to get the city to trim trees, just do a protest near them, and they'll kill the trees.
Just do a worker strike.
Yeah.
The government will get real active.
Yeah, it's a shortcut. It's a life hack, I think. But yeah, no, this guy should pay, I don't know, $100,000.
No. You know what? I'm giving in. No, prison.
Prison?
Maybe federal prison.
Maybe Russian prison. Actually.
Maybe. Think about it.
I don't know. You knew what you were doing, and also, I'm not a lawyer or anything. I share that with Alina Habba, but he hired people to commit an illegal act. Now I don't think they knew that they were breaking the law, but he knew that he was hiring other people to break the law. Yep. Shouldn't that be some additional charges?
Yes, John. Hell yeah, life.
Jail.
Without the possibility of parole.
Or community service, where he just plants trees for the next 10 years. How about that?
If you are not incessantly harassed online by leftists after your commentary today, I will now know without a shadow of a doubt that leftists are sexist, okay? I'm just gonna say it right now.
Well, I will say, again, context, it's a rich guy, and also, look at this face. Come on, you gonna get mad at me? Come on.
Oh, they'll get mad at it. You're a white male, yes, they'll come.
Usually we slide historically, actually. I think I'm gonna be okay. But anyway, I'm mostly joking, everyone, but I do like trees.
I hope they get that, yeah, obviously.